Today we're going to go over section 1.1 and most of 1.2. Section 1.1 deals with the language of algebra. Multiplication signs come in a variety of ways. They may be the typical X between the numbers indicating multiplication. It may be a dot between the two numbers, or the numbers may be in close proximity where one of the numbers, or both of the numbers are in parentheses. Division also comes in a variety of ways. You can have the typical division sign. You can have the fraction indicating division, or you can have the radical. Expressions. Expressions have no equal signs. For example, 4a plus 7. A is the variable. 4 is the coefficient of the variable, which tells us how many of the variable we have. And 7 is called a constant because it does not change. A prime number is a number greater than 1 that can only be divided by itself and 1. Those are called factors. So the only factors of 7 are 1 and the number itself. A composite number is a number greater than 1 that has more than 2 factors. For example, 30. 30 can be a combination of many numbers when multiplied. The prime factors of 30 are 2, 3, and 5. We multiply 2 times 3 times 5, we will get our 30. Other factors of 30 could be 6. 30 is divisible by 6, and 15 will divide into 30. Prime factors. Prime factors are where all the numbers are prime. So let's start with 210 a couple different ways. 210 can be 10 or 21, 10 times 21, or it can be 7 times 30. Then you look at the two starting numbers and see if they are prime. 10 is not prime. It will break down into 2 times 5. The 2 and the 5 are prime. 21 is not prime. It can break down to 3 times 7. Now, all these numbers are primes. So that's the prime factorization. If we take another set of numbers, like 7 times 30, the 7 is prime, so we just bring that straight down. 30 is not, so we break the 30 into 5 times 6. Now the 7 is still prime, so we bring that down. The 5 is prime, we bring that straight down. But the 6 becomes 2 times 3. Now we have all primes here. And you can see that it doesn't matter which two numbers you start with, you will get the same results. Fractions. Any number divided by itself, a divided by a representing any number, will equal 1. And any number divided by 1 is that number. Multiplication of fractions is pretty straightforward. You take the numerator times the numerator. In this case, a times c is ac. B denominator times denominator. B times d is bd. So if we take a live situation here, 7/8 times 3/5. 7 times 3 is 21. 8 times 5 is 40. And then you always look at the result to see if you can reduce it. In this case, you cannot. Division is a little bit different. The first fraction, a over b, stays the same. The division sign now becomes multiplication, and the second fraction gets inverted. So the c over d becomes d over c. Now we're back to multiplication, so we can take the a times the d, ad, b times the c, bc. Example of that is 1/3 divided by 4/5. So again, the first fraction stays the same. Division goes to multiplication. And the second fraction becomes inverted, or the reciprocal, or replace the denominator with and numerator in reverse. So 1 times 5 is 5, and 3 times 4 is 12. Equivalent fractions.
I called us.
Hence, they are equal, so they're equivalent, but they have different denominators. So, how did we get from 3/5 to 6/10? Well, if we multiply the numerator by 2 and the denominator by 2, we would get 6 for the numerator and 10 for the denominator. Likewise, if we put it in reverse order, with the 6/10 comes first and equals to 3/5, we can see that the 6 and the 10 are both even numbers. They're both divisible by 2. So 2 into 6 3 times, 2 into 10 5 times. Now, when you get to a rather large number, like 90 over 105, and you want to reduce it, one of the easiest ways to do it is to break each number into all primes. So 90 would be 2 times 3 times 3 times 5. 105 would be 3 times 5 times 7. Now, since everything is multiplied, whatever matches in the numerator and denominator can be canceled. Now we can't cancel the 2 with the 7 or the 3 with the 7, so we multiply the remainder. 2 times 3 is 6. 1 times 1 times 7 is 7. And we will continue in the next video, finishing 1.2.